Namaskar, Namaste, and Namaste. This is Sushant Divgikar, aka Rani KoHEnur, and you're listening to Trust Me, I Know What I'm Doing.
My name is Abhay and I share conversations with talented and interesting individuals linked to the global Indian and South Asian community. It's informal and informative, adding insights to our evolving cultural expressions, where each person can proudly say, "Trust me, I know what I'm doing." Hi, everyone. On this episode of Trust Me, I Know What I'm Doing, we share a conversation with artist Sushant Divgikar, aka Rani KoHEnur. Stay tuned. Maybe this isn't a completely novel realization, but I've found through the years that art is a pure exploration of one's truth. So, in the spirit of finding your own truth, I hope that listening or watching this is a meaningful part of your day, serving and adding to your purpose and value. I know listening takes time and effort, and so I'm greatly appreciative to you for engaging with me on Trust Me, I Know What I'm Doing, and for sharing this with your friends and family. And if you're enjoying these, and if you can support the show, please take a moment and share a kind rating and submit a written review wherever you might be getting this right now. So when we communicate and express our purest truths as art, the results can be galvanizing, not just for the content, but for what emotions and actions it sparks in those around you, and also the self-reflections and realizations. For many artists, both the power and peace of this liberated communication can be especially rewarding. And so it was really terrific to share a conversation with the multidimensional artist Sushant Divgikar, also known as Rani KoHEnur. Sushant is a gender-fluid actor, singer, activist, and drag performer based in India. Among Sushant's many accolades and firsts over the years, performances on Saregamapa and Big Boss 8 were highly visible milestones that led to many more breakthroughs and served as collective hallmark achievements for India's queer, trans, and LGBTQ communities. With a background in psychology and training in dance and musical theater, Sushant's stage persona, Rani KoHEnur, continues to remind us all that art and performance excellence is not bound at all by gender or labels. What it also does is accelerate opportunities for others and cultivate trust for those who seek to be their most authentic selves. Whether performing on RuPaul's DragCon, frontlining a skincare brand, appearing in numerous film or OTT roles, or recently headlining a major Navratri festival in Gujarat, Sushant's authenticity is rooted in family and community. We caught up to talk about all these explorations, about what Sushant's had to learn and unlearn, and even about parenting and the gifts of family. But since it was Garba season and the song Baula was running through my head, I wanted to find out among the many shapes that Sushant's art takes, if singing and music are where Sushant was finding the most freedom and liberation.
First of all, thank you. You're so kind, and you're just making me blush in on this very uncomfortably hot afternoon, and it's so humid in Mumbai. I mean,
Yeah.
You're just making my day already, and I've just about started my day, and you're just fantastic about it and about all that I do, and it's so nice to hear that my art, sort of, and that's the power of art, isn't it? That it transcends borders, it reaches people regardless of your nationality, where you are in the world right now, and thanks to technology, at the click of a button, you get to experience other people's journeys and their art. And so I think through my art, through my artistry, and my music mainly, as you rightly said, and or rather questioned, I am liberated when I sing. I think that singing and music allows me to become one with my truest authentic self. And I'll tell you that because I am, as you said, a multidisciplinary artist and multi faceted, as you can say, mm, as one might say, because I like to dabble between genres. I don't like to uh, convince myself that I'm only capable of a couple of genres and not capable, because every artist should allow themselves to explore.
Yeah.
And that is the power of art. That's the beauty of it, because art has no boundaries.
Right.
So the only boundaries that art has are the ones that we create.
Mm. And by the way, in all of those, genres that you explore, and yet singing and vocal performance is, perhaps where you can be your most authentic self and be free.
Yes, yes,
Does the idea of having breath to the art that you express, how you express yourself, and those facets, is it additive to make the vocal performance even that much better, especially the more you explore, and
yes.
the more those boundaries actually seem to disappear between the genres?
Yes, because recently with Bawla, as you mentioned, we mixed disco funk
Mm.
and Rajasthani folk music,
Yeah.
Rajasthani elements and vocals, and then you took then Mikey sort of used the electric and bass guitar along with the violins and the saxophones, and I mean, who would have thunk
Yeah.
that you got this banger of a song which combines and it's for this wonderful album
Mm.
by Warner Music called Marty.
Marty, right.
Marty means soil of the motherland.
Yeah.
And that's so beautiful because we are combining all and amalgamating rather
Mm.
we're amalgamating various very many forms of music and bringing to you the actuality that is fusion, the music that is that's a fusion of cultures,
Mm.
of art and of different genres. Music for me is song and lyrics,
Mm.
and not to say that only song or only lyrics, don't make sense, but when put together, they create this wonderful, magical experience for the
Yeah.
listener.
And when you are in a position now where you are up on stage or in the studio and helping share your art, and in a way, not only helping other people to experience, and I've often thought of art as basically anyone's exploration of their own truth.
Yes.
We all live in various scenes, and those scenes we feel really at home, and sometimes we feel like we're kind of exploring the unknown, and we're being bold and we take risks. Do you find that now, at your stage in your career, and at your stage in this sort of profession, that you're equally kind of doing both, sort of perfecting the art of what's comfortable, and also exploring the art that might be bold and adventurous and taking risks? Do you navigate both of those kind of on a constant basis?
I'm going to call you Dada because it's it's so much easier, and I feel like I'm speaking to somebody who is, I mean, as soon as somebody's Marathi, you just become like a big family anyway.
Right, that's true.
And then it's just, Dada, the best part about when I started off about 18 years back, I was a teenager and I was about 15, and I didn't think about the fact that I started off as a background dancer, okay, and for Terence Lewis and his academy. I was also a trainer back then. I was training myself and also training other people in various dance forms, especially modern, contemporary jazz, ballet, and
Yeah.
Kathak. A little bit of Kathak, a little bit of Bharatnatyam, and then there was salsa. There was, the inventing really various styles like Bolly jazz, mixing Bollywood and jazz
Sure.
uh, choreography. And back then, I'll be very honest, I never thought I would take up, a performance art as a profession.
Yeah.
Because back then, we were told that this is not a real profession.
Right.
This is a hobby and it should stay a hobby. But a real profession is being a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer.
Yeah.
And this was not even considered, forget a career, but when if somebody did it, they were considered loose, they were
Mm.
considered easy,
Yeah.
and they were considered, all sorts of things, and worse adjectives actually,
Right,
and
right.
promiscuous and all of that. Oh, she doesn't have character. She doesn't have this.
Yeah,
He doesn't care about anybody but himself. There's no security,
yeah,
and all of this rubbish. And I just I have been thankful and grateful every day to the universe for giving me the parents I have today.
mm,
And I was born to,
yeah,
and they have been so phenomenal in my growth to the artist I am today is only and only thanks to the upbringing and the values that they've inculcated in me. And
yeah.
that shows, I don't care if this sounds boastful, if this sounds,
That's okay. Yeah,
or whatever. But my parents are just amazing. Like
yeah,
for a middle class Konkani Marathi, family living in Mumbai, working, God fearing, working very hard and working overtimes to make sure that, ends are met and their children go to school and can have a good education. I don't think I've seen anyone like my parents. And then me coming out, my brother also choosing not a profession that boys don't usually choose. He
right.
chose hospitality.
Yeah,
So my thing is, I mean, he was a purser, and then now he's training to be a pilot, and he's just about training now, and he's about 37 and 30 or 38, and
yeah,
my parents have never said no to pursue our dreams. So
right.
when I'm on stage, I think I get this whole energy which where I encapsulate the entire arena in my
Mm,
aura, and
yeah,
I don't consider any other option available. I don't think that I can fuck up on stage, or
hmm.
I should fuck up on stage, and pardon my French, but
That's okay.
there is no place for fuck ups in my
Yeah,
dictionary or on stage, because when I'm on stage, I can't explain to you, but any stage, whether it is for a boutique show which has 50 people, or it's a show which has more than 50,000 people, which I just
yeah,
did just this whole month, nearly I've been
right.
performing. And it's just one after the other and every day. And, and there is no bandwidth for me to fuck up.
Well, let me ask you, do you feel that because you have such discipline and such high expectations, given the journey that you just described and parents who and a family that loved you and supported you throughout all of this, going into a profession that has very high demands, is there safety on stage? Do you find that
Mhm.
you are allowed to
Yes,
be comfortable and safe, and yet all this at the same time, like, take lots of risks and be
yes.
yourself?
Yeah. Honestly, and as I was saying, when I started off, I never expected that I would be this glamazon. I
Yeah,
was a very shy kid, and I was, true to my name, Sushant,
yeah,
that I was given by my parents. And now, of course, there would have been no Rani without a Sushant, right?
yeah.
And but Sushant was actually very shant, very quiet when I was
Right.
growing up, and I could never fathom this person that I am today. I voice for the voiceless. I
Yeah,
think it's my duty to support my community, not
yeah,
just my community, but any other marginalized group or sect of people
yeah,
that are marginalized, not because they want to be marginalized. You
yeah.
know, they're just because I think as human beings, somewhere there is a sadistic pleasure to see somebody below us. And it's
Sure.
so shit. It's such a
Yeah,
shit all trait that we have as humans. And I think we need to all work on it collectively. So, and then I've also realized that I think that this power you speak about or speak of, and this fierceness and unabashed, unapologetic personality on stage is definitely a reflection, and the safety net, as you're speaking,
mm,
is definitely there, because have you seen the amount of love my audience gives me, regardless
right.
of what's between my legs or what's between
Yeah,
my chest bones or
yeah,
what's between my, they judge me for what is me, who I am,
yeah,
and who I have been and who I will always be.
yeah,
A lot of people are like, oh no, I'm pretending to be nice, or I'm pretending to be this, godmother to. I was like, 18 years, I'm not going to pretend, nah.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm very vocal about, shit that flies across me, and I'll catch it and throw it back at the person who sent it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
And they're like, oh my God, but I threw it in the air, but you caught it. Yes, I caught it, and I'm going to smash your face in it.
that's
You know,
right.
it's like that. So I'm like, I
Yeah.
honestly think that, when I'm on stage, and the safety I feel is because of my parents, yes, my immediate friend circle, my workplace, but I also have to tell you, I give myself credit. I claim this only because if I would not have made people feel comfortable around me, they wouldn't experience this comfort around. I have realized that people open up to me easier. It's
Yeah.
easier to open up to me only because, or have a good conversation with me. I give those vibes. Like
Yeah.
if I was this uppity little bitch that
Yeah.
felt she was precious, and I felt like, if somebody got my pronouns wrong the first time, I would kill them, or
Yeah.
I would want to be aggressive. I'm not that person.
Right.
I just think that if I took 30 years to understand my pronouns, how can you expect somebody else to understand them in 30 seconds?
In a way, that safety that you have on stage and the vibrancy that you exude, you're giving people license to be safe, and you're
Yes,
welcoming them at the same time.
100%. And
Yeah.
I have moved into this wonderful new palatial home, which I give myself full credit for because
As you
I
should.
work my ass off.
Right. Right.
But I make sure that this space even is a space and a safe haven for
Yeah.
so many queer kids. And I'll tell you again why. Because when I was growing up, and I used to live with my parents for the longest time till the lockdown occurred. And then after that, I moved out, and I chose to move out close to my parents, although it's very expensive, where the area they live in.
Yeah.
And I'm dying, but it also pushes my boundaries, and I don't and I don't stay complacent for
Yeah.
more than a day. I'll be like, oh my God, I'm a queen. And then the next day I have to wake up and go to work again.
Right.
And I'll be like, yes, the queen also has duties.
Yeah.
The queen also has to do Riya. तिला पण रियाज करायची गरज आहे.
Oh, yes.
So I also have to wake up at 6 a.m. and I like doing it because it's this whole, pattern that it's become, like, as you said, the discipline.
Yeah.
And this also comes from my parents. I'll tell you why. This place that I'm residing in right now, this home, is so beautiful, and I want the kids to experience the safety. So
Yeah.
my kids, the other day, one of my sons, my trans sons, he's just gotten his surgery done, and he's just transitioned. So when he had this major dysphoria, and he had these doubts, and he was crying, and he called one of my older children in Goa, and he was talking to him, and then I felt like, so when my older son called me and told me, Mama, my sibling is like really in pain, and I was like, what?
Sure.
So why didn't you tell me? Why didn't he tell me?
Right.
And he was like, when I heard that, I was like, okay, maybe I've been very, maybe my kids have not experienced my love as much as they've experienced my strictness, or as a mother. But
which, by the way, is all part of parenting, right?
yes, also, so I have to, I think, the lines are now blurred, because I think as parents now today, and as especially chosen families and queer families, I think that those lines are blurred. But of course, I was like, please share with me. You should share with me, because I'm here for you. I mean, if you call me your mother, then you come to mother. Mother provides.
Right. Right.
You're listening to Trust Me, I Know What I'm Doing. After a quick break, let's come back to our conversation with Sushant Divgikar, also known as Rani KoHEnur. Stay tuned. Conversation. It's the antidote to apathy and the catalyst for relationships. I'm Abhay, and I share conversations with global Indians and South Asians, so everyone can say, trust me, I know what I'm doing. New episodes weekly, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Hi, this is Vidya Balan, and you're listening to Trust Me, I Know What I'm Doing.
Hi, this is Madhuri Dixit.
Hi, this is Farhan Akhtar.
Hi, I'm music recording artist Sid Sriram.
Hi,
I'm Krish Ashok, author of Masala Lab, The Science of Indian Cooking, and you're listening to Trust Me, I Know What I'm Doing.
Welcome back to Trust Me, I Know What I'm Doing. Let's rejoin our conversation now with Sushant Divgikar, also known as Rani KoHEnur.
People perhaps make, unfortunately, lots of assumptions about everyone, but they might, like you mentioned, people think that, oh, this a queen, you're not getting up till 12 o'clock and you have plenty of people around you to handle you. And yet there's a rigor, there's a discipline with this. And I'm curious for you, the assumption might always be that because you have an incredible personality in, Rani KoHEnur, and thinking a little bit about what your stage presence is and what your extroverted presence might be, they might assume that you're always extroverted all the time. But most of us, of course, I mean, you're a psychologist by profession, actually, and
I'm a psychologist, yes, but not with a medical degree. Yes, yeah, as a counselor. Yeah.
But in a way, most of us probably live in this kind of ambiverted, existence. But do you have moments where you're sort of surprised by how introverted or extroverted you are, or maybe those who know you very well, that they become surprised by that themselves?
Yes, it's such a beautiful question. This question is so wonderfully tailored, because I'll tell you, a lot of my friends are, of course, surprised that, when I'm and even still, like, they've known me for most of my life, friends that have literally, we've grown up together, right?
Yeah.
But even they are surprised or rather shocked sometimes as to how, what an introvert I am. In a group of people, and how I will choose the people that I want to open up to, and not share my energy with everyone. Also, I have just, overall, I have a very calming and very pleasant energy. I'm not a bitch like that. But I know for a fact that I will catch a corner and just spend quality time with my people, like the people I want to spend. Or even sometimes, I'll tell you, when I moved out of my familial house and started living alone, when I started living by myself, I have never enjoyed being alone as much as I have when I know for a fact that my parents are around, my family is around, my friends are around, my work colleagues are around, all of that. But this time alone has made me introspect and understand so many things about myself, because by default, you're speaking to yourself. You are talking to yourself. You're looking at yourself more. You have more time to spend and more energy to invest in and for yourself. And I think that is the best gift you can give to yourself.
Yeah.
To be alone and spend that wonderful time with yourself. I'm so surprised with so many facets that I've understood about myself. I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was like, my God, I've had a terrible taste in men,
Yeah.
I've had,
you look at yourself in the mirror and it's like, wait a minute, where am I going with this?
What are you doing? And then, of course, so all of this clarity, because the thing is that, you take yourself so much for granted.
Yeah, that's true.
You let other people's opinions who don't even pay your bills or don't pay you. I'll tell you something, we tailor make our personality to please the society or to please the world, where in actuality, because we are so scared what they would think and how they would react to it. In actuality, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck. And I'll tell you, I'm not to put people down and just be like, no, just the world is a crazy place and stuff. It may be. There are also good people. But my thing is, generally, you shouldn't do something, or you shouldn't not do something that's not harming somebody else or yourself, only because somebody else won't like it. If you feel like you want to do it, just go ahead and fucking do it today. Right. Do it today, because now I'll tell you what the biggest gift is: just even being alive.
Yeah.
In today's day and age. So just go out and do what you want to do, what makes you happy, but doesn't harm somebody else, in the process, physically or, unconsciously harming someone else. That's just wrong.
Does that clarity
and that boldness and feeling empowered to, look, be yourself as you call out how proud you can be and take the accomplishments and really enjoy and appreciate the hard work. Do you ever have to be mindful of the guardrails of humility and sometimes rein it in and think a little bit about what it means, especially because you are serving as a role model and an example to so many who are really looking to see, like, how do I be myself, make sure that I'm proud and celebrate who I am, explore art, and not just for those artists out there, but in any profession, right? To be authentic and be who you are, but then also stay humble and stay hungry and
Yes,
have, not really boundaries, but again, sort of like value guardrails, if you will.
right. I have always known to be I'm always known to be somebody who's, as I said, vocal, but also I'm very grateful for the people that came before me,
Yeah.
that have set this foundation on which today we can run. Because you have to understand that to a large extent, the revolution that was created by pop icons and LGBT activists and artists that were openly gay and queer in the 90s in America, for example, they are the ones that actually changed the narrative that was such a derogatory, dehumanizing narrative during the pandemic, the AIDS and HIV pandemic that had hit the States. And
Sure.
we were losing so many of our extended family and chosen family. And a hats off to all the contributions worldwide when the entire community and our allies came together, especially from the medical fraternity as well. So you would know this because there were so many doctors that were actually helping and not just disregarding human life just because they had certain inhibitions about a certain community. Because when you are sworn in as a doctor to save a life, you don't really see what their gender or what their orientation, what their Aadhaar card or their passport says.
Yes.
Or, in your case, your security number and what your ethnicity is, or, what your surname is, which God are you praying to? It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
It shouldn't matter.
We're agnostic to all of that.
It should not matter. And they taught us that resilience is in human form. If resilience had a movement, it would be this movement. And that led so many other sub-movements in around the world to come together as a community. Somewhere today, I believe that because of so many labels, so many demarcations and stuff. Yes, I mean, I get that people would like to be identify as what they want, and that is a personal choice, and we respect that. But I think that, at the very base of it, we must all know that we are one community.
Yeah.
And all of us, when we talk about gender and orientation, have been sidelined at some level or the other, maybe not in equal amounts, or the amounts may matter, and the way we've been treated based on and it's a reality, sadly. It is that, even within the community, there is caste-based politics, there is gender-based politics, there's some sort of a hierarchy, which I don't understand, and I don't want to understand because it's nothing to understand. I think there shouldn't be any hierarchy. And when you plateau everybody and put everyone on the table and table conversation, things just become easier by themselves. And the movement that was happening in the 90s in America is I see some sort of a similar or an equivalent movement that we are trying to have today in India. And today, when I'm on television, in the films, there was a time, I'll tell you honestly, there was nobody else. There was nobody else doing this in the mainstream, but with dignity and, articulating their thoughts in a way where tomorrow it becomes easier for the next generation.
Yeah.
As you said, I'm so grateful for the people, for the opportunities, and to everyone. Each and everyone asks me, who is your idol? Who is your inspiration? Well, my inspiration is and are each and every person that lives authentically out of the closet and empowers me to be my truest authentic self. So
Yeah.
definitely, we must garner the courage to create a safe ecosystem where people don't feel that coming out of the closet is a big task. It should not be sensationalized so much. It should be normalized.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully there's a day when these kinds of things, we come to a conclusion that like, okay, that's nice. What's next, right?
What's next? Yeah. What about you is, why are we discussing your gender or orientation?
Right.
Why are we making that the center of attention of your whole entire being?
Yeah.
You might be a wonderful friend. You might be a wonderful husband, brother, doctor, a great citizen and an asset to your country by paying your taxes on time and voting. And you may also be cishet. So what?
Yeah. So what?
And what's next? Keep it moving.
Yeah.
Because when I enter a room, I'm not going to enter a room and say, hi, I'm Rani and I'm a transgender individual and I love men. What the fuck? Like, what?
Yeah.
What is that?
Even with that, like whether you enter as Rani, whether you enter as Sushant, it almost doesn't matter in that way. And yet all the things that are exhibited in your art, like you said, there is still cannibalism within the community. There is still areas where you need to actually be in the rooms where they're making decisions about things. So, eventually, how do you position yourself, or for that matter, support other trans artists in such a way that you can better control the levers of power and better control being autonomous and independent in this industry where, frankly, there is a hierarchy and there are levers of power that you may not necessarily control. So is the ultimate secret to be in better control of those, whether they're financial or power levers, so that more and more of this can be normalized and the stories can be told and the art can actually get out there and be expressed?
Wow, that's a wonderful question again. When I started and when I am now in this form, let's say, when I'm so much closer to the divine feminine and, the divinity, and I'm such a faith-oriented person, I believe in all my multiple hundred gods.
Right.
and their cousins and their neighbors.
Right. Every avatar, right?
And every avatar and its children and their children. And I'm just like, for me, I have never consciously competed with anyone.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that when I was a sports person, there were people who were put beside me to compete with me. Right. And I was still in my lane. I didn't cross my lane and I never switched lanes with the person swimming next to me. Yeah. I had to concentrate on the fact that I don't hit my head when I'm turning or I don't get stuck in the ropes. And that would only happen if I streamlined my vision and my body and, made sure that I reached the finish line in one piece and did not like clash into somebody else, because what would happen is that I would ruin my chances and theirs. And in real life, we, completely disregard. And that's why being a sports person is so important to me. And I'm so happy that I was a sports person and I was, come from a sports family, because sportsmanship spirit, the spirit of sportsmanship is then automatically imbibed in your adult life. And you automatically know when to stay in your lane. And, if you have an opinion that, is not necessarily productive to somebody else's growth, then shut the fuck up.
Right.
I know when to shut the fuck up. And some people don't. Some people, some people just don't know. They suffer from verbal diarrhea. They suffer from not to know when to keep quiet. They don't know how to stay in their own lane. So what happens is they live very unfulfilled lives. And I just want to tell artists in general, I don't think trance artists really. See, another thing is I've never looked at myself as a trance artist.
Yeah.
I have looked at myself as an artist that of trance experience, yes, but in the mainstream.
Yeah.
My journey has been nothing less of miraculous, that of resilience and conviction and courage of conviction. So my courage of conviction came from my journey. It did not come from anyone else's, because I could not. Of course, it served as a sort of a reference point. But when I experience what I've experienced, I have always been the first to experience so many things, highs and lows.
Sure.
In a career like this, the first person to perform in drag on international platforms, the first person in India to put drag on mainstream television in India, to represent India on Emmy award-winning shows and representing the country and Indian drag and Indian music, and even in the films in India, being the first drag queen on the big screen in the theaters, where in small cities, big cities, metropolitan cities, and worldwide, and having a premiere at the Toronto Film Festival, and the film being nominated for international level awards, and then of course doing another series where you're not playing the typical poor, oh my god, she's just crying and she's got this sob story, and oh my god, everyone hates her, and because of her. No, I thrashed the bitches. Even in the series, I had the opportunity to thrash bitches who came for me. And it was just like, see, you stay in your lane. If you were in your lane, you would have known that, you would have known better.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now, and after a little bit of tanning, now that and because I am aware of the fact that I have responsibility, but it's the responsibility that people have bestowed upon me. But otherwise, I am also still that, middle class person from Mumbai, with the values that my parents have inculcated in me. And I'm just doing that to my kids. So if you put me on a pedestal, then it is your job to see me as such, or you imbibe whatever you want from my journey. I've never ever, and I will never ever say that you must do this because I did it.
Well, but for you, somebody is helping to accelerate that journey for you, right? Somebody who holds the power as a producer or as an executive someplace makes those decisions. So is it important for you at some point to be the person making all those decisions, to give more autonomy and more power? I
am. Of course, we have to, as artists, understand that we have to sometimes sign contracts. There are certain contracts that help us understand that, okay, this needs to be done. This can't be done because this is just not possible, and it just seems fake. So according to that, we make decisions. But largely, I haven't given the power to anyone in my life to make decisions on my behalf.
Yeah.
Nobody. And I think you have to take accountability for yourself, only because you are a grown adult. Yeah. The problem with a lot of artists worldwide, not just, they love to be babied around. They love to be be pampered and be given, gifts and this, and taken on vacations and been like, oh no, you deserve so much more. And oh my God, you're so beautiful today. But just because you deserve that, have you ever thought that the people working for you also deserve that?
Right.
Or working with you and around you also deserve a compliment every now and then, or deserve a break, or deserve a raise, or deserve a vacation themselves, deserve some skincare, and all of that. So everybody deserves it. You're not some fucking special bitch, and I think
you need to be a benevolent diva, right?
Yes, honey. If you succeed, if you are more well taken care of, you do the same to the people that are around you. And that's what makes you a queen, Otherwise, you're just, I love what Gaga said, right, in one of her, don't be a drag, just be a queen. Yeah. Otherwise, you're just dragging it,
A good mantra, for sure.
You're listening to Trust Me, I Know What I'm Doing. After a quick break, let's come back to our conversation with artist Sushant Divgikar, also known as Rani KoHEnur. Stay tuned.
Every story told is a lesson learned, and every lesson learned is a story waiting to be told. I'm Abhay Dandekar, and I share conversations with global Indians and South Asians so everyone can say, "Trust me, I know what I'm doing." New episodes weekly, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Vivek Murthy. I'm the 21st Surgeon General of the United States, and you're listening to Trust Me, I Know What I'm Doing.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tam France.
Hi, I'm Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal.
Hi, my name is Richa Morjani.
Hi, I'm Lily Singh, and you're listening to Trust Me, I Know What I'm Doing.
Hi there, I'm Abhay Dandekar, and you're listening to Trust Me, I Know What I'm Doing. Let's rejoin our conversation now with artist Sushant Divgikar, also known as Rani KoHEnur.
Given all these things, right? I mean, they're powerful lessons that you've learned and in this journey, and one that continues to evolve, right? I mean, like there are many corners to still try and walk around, but so far at least, what are some of the things that you particularly have had to unlearn about yourself in order to imagine success?
I have had to unlearn giving a fuck about people's opinions.
Just basic as that, right?
Just so basic as that.
Yeah.
I have spent sleepless nights about, oh my God, he said this about me on social media and she said this about me. And then I just sat with myself and I was like, well, look at me doing iconic shit every other day. And, making sure that my kids are okay, my future generations of artists are, have something to look forward to and, have not just me, but so many more artists like me that believe in integrity more than just, a paycheck. Yes, the paycheck is important, but at what cost,
Right.
So all of these things, I realized I sat with myself and I had to unlearn what people thought of me. Because honestly, this is what Betty Davis had said, that, all of us, however celebrated, once we're gone, we have just got 2 seconds on the big screen as a Shraddhanjali boltat na apne, as a tribute. And just 2 seconds for all the years that you've given to this industry or the world or all the films. Yes, you live through your legacy and your music and art, or your films, but 2 seconds and then the show goes on.
I know.
So why to give so much importance and why give the power in anybody's hands to dictate your narrative? And even if they have certain narratives about you, that's not your reality and you know that. You know it. So why give a shit?
Right. So basic and so important. And
don't give a shit. That's it.
Right. Just have to keep reminding yourself of that. Let's do a few rapid fire ones. And some of these are, I was thinking about these because I thought about which rapid fire questions I wanted to ask you, but at the same time, some of these are a little deep. So we'll see how rapid they are. But, you talk about your parents so lovingly and, with so much gratitude. Do you crave parenting? I mean, you have those who you parent now, but is that something you crave every day?
Yes.
Good. Simple.
Yes. Simple, yes. I love my kids.
Is it a way of you think, paying back?
Yes. I have so much love that I have collected over the years that, excess of anything also spoils you. So I give the love. I pass on the love. I spoil my children. I scold them also. I let them be sometimes, sometimes they need their own time. Sometimes I don't speak to, I have many kids. That's another thing. So that I have so many kids because I have so much love to give. And I think that, yes, it's a way of giving back what I have received.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Who is the last artist that made you cry?
Actually, I would say, I in the morning listened to Lady Gaga's song, Remember Us This Way. Yeah, that song from A Star Is Born. What a beautiful artist she is. What a beautiful person she is. And I think, not that I've not heard this song before, but today in the morning, I needed to hear this maybe, you know. And she made me cry in the morning, early in the morning. Thank God I didn't have makeup on, otherwise she would have fucked me up. And but yeah, she's a phenomenal artist. Always loved her. And yeah, she was the last artist that made me cry.
Here's one. Do you dream as Rani or Sushant, as neither, or as both?
I think so. Earlier, Rani was extremely different from Sushant, right?
Yeah.
Because Sushant was shy, Sushant was scared, and so Rani helped Sushant to be fierce. As much as Sushant helped Rani to be out there and represent everybody like Sushant.
Yeah.
And that's why I say, without a Sushant, there wouldn't be no Rani. And without a Rani, there wouldn't be no Sushant. Like, this Sushant is a Rani. You know, the earlier Sushant wasn't a Rani, and so he needed a Rani. And this Rani that now is, you know, the lines are so blurred that I dream as this one glamazon, and whether you call me Rani, Sushant, or any other thing, or any other name, or any other pronoun, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's all there.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like people who, you know, their mother tongue is Marathi or Konkani, and when they dream, they hear that, right? And yet they might speak English all day long, or they might speak Hindi all day long.
I speak in all the languages, and sometimes there's like it's gibberish. It's just like it's rubbish. Like, I don't even know. I might have probably made up like a language in my dreams. I think they are all manifestations. I mean, like, you know, they're all your subconscious, right? It's all of your subconscious. So I just think that there are still certain things that I have probably pushed back, and they're kind of showing up in my dreams. And
they're sort of more manifestations of who you are and who you aspire to be, and who also you might be suppressing, and all those things. That's what makes us human. Let me finish with this one. You know, you're from sharing, you know, music or garba during Navratri, and, you know, playing to boutique crowds or crowds of 50,000 people plus, whether it's Ganesh and Vitthal Bhajan or Lady Gaga, right? I mean, there's such a huge variety to all of this. Yet, for those people who are maybe just learning about you for the very first time, maybe they're just first discovering you, how do you want them to feel? How do you hope they feel after they've seen one of your shows, or after they've seen a clip of you on the internet, or seen some of your work? How do you hope they feel? What questions do you hope they ask? What do you want them to walk away after experiencing your work?
I just think that as an artist and as a person, I want anybody who consumes my art in any form, whether it's acting or it's performance art or live performance, or, you know, recorded a song or whatever, I just want them to take away this one thing, or maybe the only thing, is that you need, and you shouldn't want to love, you need to love yourself. You need to be comfortable with yourself, and all of you, not just certain aspects of you, all of you, all your victories, all your good things, all your good characteristics that you considered good, you know, or bad, your demons, your idiosyncrasies, your mannerisms, your everything, the way you flip your hair, the way you sing a certain song a certain way, the way you look at somebody, the way you look at yourself, the way you enjoy the breeze, the way you don't, the way you enjoy eating what you eat, and the way you don't. And all of it, all of you need to understand that. And when I'm on stage, especially, I am that. I'm in love with myself.
Yeah.
I love the fact that I can do this. And the fact that through my art, I can reach millions and billions of people around the world. And for me, that I think if anybody watches me live or watches what I do, the one thing that they should take away is that oh my God, she's so fucking in love with herself.
Right.
Like, that's a fucking mood.
Yeah.
She's a mood.
Yeah.
And I wish, and I'm so happy that I can see this. And there are so many people who are like, oh, and I see them in the audience, and I see them that they're in love with themselves, and I take that energy, and that's when I perform even more. Like, if I have a broken back, I have currently 2 herniated slip discs, and I still go on stage, and I'm just like, because I can't take a break. Like, you tell me what I need to do, tell me all the physiotherapy, I'll do it, I'll, strengthen my back and stuff. But I don't care. Like, a lot of people are like, oh no, there's that. I was like, yes, but what about, living in the present? You can't tell me I have to take a 2-month break to, recuperate. I will probably give my body 10 days to heal and make sure that I completely heal, like not just like, just shit around and be like, no, I'll do, if it's bed rest, it's bed rest. You have to listen to, because otherwise then the 2 months become 2 years, and then, it just, you have to, of course, take care of your body. But I'm just also like, but I love doing this. And if I don't do this, a major part of me feels dead.
Yeah.
I have to be in touch with my art. If I give that up, or if something happens to that, in whatever, today I'm doing it on a larger scale, and I'm doing it bigger than I've ever done it before, on a bigger scale. But there will be a time and place in my life where I will have to take it easy. I will have to go easier. Age won't allow me to do as many tours. My body might become more sluggish. My body will get older. And I'm aware of all of this. So, when people tell me, what about your old age? Who the fuck has promised you tomorrow, man? But I'm living in the moment.
Don't take it for granted. Yeah.
Yes, but I'm living in the here and now.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean I'm completely hedonistic, but it also does mean that I am aware of what will or what might happen. So if I'm just sitting around and waiting to get old,
it's right. Not necessarily the right game to play, right?
Yeah, it's not my school of thought, at least.
Yeah.
And so when people see me, they should just basically know that, I'm very comfortable with myself. And maybe, perhaps, that might help people to be comfortable with themselves. Perhaps not. Perhaps some people might think I'm crazy. And that's fine,
Yeah.
But it's fine. If I'm dinner table conversation for you, that's great. At least, you're still consuming my content and monetizing it. So please do it.
If it's dinner table conversation, or it's in an audience, and no matter what, people feeling more comfortable with themselves and realizing how great it is to appreciate how comfortable you feel with yourself, putting lots and lots of art on dinner table conversations everywhere. But more importantly, I think really feeling lots of great energy and sharing that with so many. Sushant, thank you so much for sharing just a lovely conversation. And I hope we can visit with you again down the line.
Yes, thank you so much for having this conversation with me. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks so much, Sushant. A quick shout out, if you're ever in the Phoenix area and want to link up with the best dance troupe of performers and instructors, check out Kaveri, Ketki, Shruti, and Anusha from KDC Performing Arts. Again, thanks for listening, and please share with your family and friends. Till next time, I'm Abhay Dandekar.